Kick it off. Over to you, fellas.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Week 5 again, second series this time, and Perth Ground Zero, not really much to fight. Sorry, before we go into, can I clarify? I was on a controller for the dribbling video, and look, all right, I was a bit rubbish. I'm a keyboard and mouse player. Anyway, moving on. I'm not that highly ranked, but still, it's all right. Look, just want to get there. I'll load it.
We have our bibs ready.
But yeah, look, wait till you see the passing video coming up. Anyway, Jim Nesso hysterics. It's going to get better from here, trust me.
I'm going to pass on seeing that video.
Yeah, no, all right. Well, moving on anyway, Perth Ground Zero. What do they have to fight for here? Well, they want to make sure they finish the season strong, as well as move into those semi-finals in the best possible position. And at the moment, Brisbane Deceptors, they may be out, but they can cause a bit of an upset here and kind of lower down Perth Ground Zero as we move into Game 1. And Perth Ground Zero see if they can take out another series.
I mean, I'd argue that Perth Ground Zero in the best possible position from a mentality standpoint. There's no pressure on them. As they said, they might try some things here in this matchup that they want to see whether or not it works. There's a perfect opportunity for them to do that, build themselves into the finals. But you don't want to give the game away, do you, against your opposition potentially next week? So they might keep something in the tank, might just save something for the next week's matchup. In that regard, Smiths, as we said, from the captain's perspective, for Brisbane Deceptors, they're quietly confident, but they're also really great for that opportunity and playing against quality opposition like Perth Ground Zero. They're not going to take that lightly.
Yep, Smith at the moment. He's jumping onto the field. Hopefully he's looking crisp rather than thinly cut. But Perth Ground Zero in front of the net again. That goal square getting peppered once more. Brisbane Deceptors trying to get out of the defense. Delusion intercepts at midair, comes back in. Perfect placement, but ends up being a little bit too wide. A small drop there and a nice finisher as Sicky nails in the first.
He's gone from thinly cut to lightly salted.
Unfortunately, yep. Sometimes salt and vinegar can do that too.
That's the best flavour of all time. Let's be realistic. But from Brisbane Deceptors' perspective, these guys have been working week on week, different combinations, and there's some real potential in this team in that regard too.
Yep.
So this is a really good barometer for them to test themselves against, because Perth are one of the top teams in the competition, dare say the country. And in that regard,
you say, you may say.
I know, I didn't even need to drink that through. But
they must love you by now. 5 weeks in, a guy with wacky shirts and says a lot of dare iced coffee puns. This is Jim Nesso, ladies and gents. If you haven't seen him already, welcome to the Elite Series. Perth Ground Zero, I'm going to come back in because I think Sicky's setting up off that backboard and they just keep nailing down these passes. In front of net again, Lamont, the last defender. What can Brisbane Deceptors do? Getting the ball out of the defense doesn't seem like an option right now. There's Delusion, the highest scorers so far in the Elite Series. Sicky, the shot's there, goes a little bit wide. Lamont, no! Kupo will help out. And this one, Sicky, but Delusion helps as well. So almost 2 own goals from both sides.
Very direct, though, from Brisbane Deceptors, I must admit, on that counter almost immediately, just straight up. To be fair, too, they went through a period there where they had to absorb a lot of backboard pressure from Perth Ground Zero. And that's one thing Ground Zero are really good at doing, is just maintaining that pressure. And they need to deal with all those passes off the backboard, Brisbane Deceptors. They need to make sure they keep enough boost in the tank. And that's where Ground Zero really excel, is when they allow Delusion to break away on those backboard passes. He's always looking for that double touch himself as well. Not easy to do. There's demolition in goal. Delusion looking direct there. The Brisbane Deceptors have dealt with it.
Well, the 1-2-3 ends up being a bit of a counter-attack. The pass then goes wide as the defense is quite slight, but easy to maintain. Delusion, good pass to the centre field. The infield works out, but goes to the crossbar. Sirix goes over it. And now for Smith, his time on stage, looking not too bad. Dribbles it off the roof, sets it down for Brisbane Deceptors. Their play, it hits the ground, it's ready to go once again. Off that backboard, an opportunity arises once more. Kupo, he can't recover, so it's just given over to Sirix. And Ground Zero, that 1-goal lead, still comfortable and still expectations for them to perform here in this series.
Last week we saw Perth really bring that speed to their game. Not seeing it just yet, but it is that first game scenario where they're just trying to work things out, as you said.
Oh, great pass, Sicky. Coming close. Sirix will be defended out by Smith. But Ground Zero again. Couple of style points already. Losing the ball from Sicky. Delusion pinches it out, hits that back wall, and Sirix tries to play with it, but it was coming a little bit too far. Sicky goes over the ball, and opportunity once again strikes there for Brisbane Deceptors. Smiths will try and beat out Delusion. I think the faded bump was almost coming in. Delusion clears it away.
There was a bump on the goal line there, but not a direct pass towards that area. They deal with it now, first ground zero. But if they can get those passes going, and to credit for Brisbane Deceptors, they're looking for those passes, they're just not finding that final connection.
Minute remaining. Perth ground zero on the defense here. I keep saying opportunity strikes there for Brisbane Deceptors, and it does. There's a couple of plays they're getting through. Delusion hands the ball off. Great defense there. Sirix takes the shot, and Smiths will just launch it back up. Lamont saves the ball away, and off that back wall again. Perth ground zero just playing with fire here. Xerix hangs back. No need to push that far forward. They've got that 1-goal lead, but Xerix comes in anyway, ready to duck the ball down, hits the backboard. Delusion was the final member, but even he does not go up. And with 20 seconds remaining, Xerix back in, off the wall. This is the goal. And ground zero style, once again the word we use.
Time and time again, we've seen that combination there. Sirix also looking for that pass as well. Delusion just putting the final touches on there. He's got a great shot conversion rate. You can see it in pre-game statistics. He's
calm as a farm as well.
He's firing more shots than Yummy does.
Right. I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot of shots.
Considering he's on every single week, every single series. So 15 seconds and Perth ground zero. Only 2 shots fired that have hit the back of the net in this game. But game 1, a success, no doubt. Nonetheless, Brisbane Deceptors looking for positioning in this series to at least take out a series, another game before they exit the Elite Series. And game 1, that's not going to be the game. So right now we say, hey, an own goal, set it up. No, but Perth ground zero, this game 1's theirs anyway.
Looking for that 0-second goal potential, just to put the cherry on top of the cake in match number 1. But for them, from start to finish, they controlled the pace. There wasn't a lot of great Rocket League, to be honest, played in that first.
Jim Nesso.
They weren't.
That's blasphemy.
They weren't connecting their passes, but you can see they were just easing into this matchup as it played there. There was some creation from Perth ground zero going forward.
There's also some deletion as well, you know.
There was. But, I mean, in the end there, Siki, 5 shots on goal. Delusion was also creating a lot. But Sirix, we saw him last week, really an attacking outlet for them. He was putting the icing on top of every passing play. He was getting forward as well. I dare say as the matches go through and they start to build up, they're going to be creating more chances going forward. So really look out for Perth ground zero in that regard. Brisbane Deceptors only created 3 chances overall where they had shots on goal. So for them, they're going to look to get those passing plays going that hopefully result in shots.
Well, Perth ground zero weren't moving that fast, and you have to say, even still with 12 shots on the board, Perth looking comfortable as always. They didn't bat an eyelid. Batted an eyelid is what I said last time, and now I understand the errors of my ways. Sirix is asleep. I mean that's fine. I'm not sure he played game 1, but that's all right. Game 2 will come shortly.
Commentary, mate.
Well, look, I mean he's half asleep in his chair. Perth ground zero. I mean, talk about comfortable, but he's enjoying the chairs. Obviously, the infrastructure of Perth ground zero has been shown here already, but now game 2, it's already been taken away.
Maybe that's the issue. The comfortable chairs are too much for the players.
You reckon?
Too comfortable.
Right. Never before has there been a win condition like that. Brisbane Deceptors now in game 2. What can they make? Sirix is a good setup, managing his boost well, comes in off that back wall, but Delusion going to be the 3rd player. Siki goes in. It's a good bounce. Delusion up for it once again. It'll bounce towards net. But Kupo lobs it away. No big clears yet from Brisbane Deceptors, and this is the issue. The faster Perth ground zero play, the more uncomfortable they're going to look. Kupo, you can't do that in front of net with Delusion around.
And he's always going to find that gap as well too, just directing that ball nicely away from the defender. And Kupo, just that touch there, didn't do him any justice whatsoever. He tried his best to make amends for it, but against a player of Delusion's calibre, we've seen week on week, he
keeps kissing the camera as well. Perth ground zero. On the field, they're okay, but this kickoff goal is going to showcase. About to say, on the field, they're great, especially with a 2-0 start. But on camera, they're all over the place.
Well, I mean, they're growing in awareness week on week, aren't they? They know exactly when those cameras are on them.
Yeah.
So, except for Sirix.
No, Sirix knows. Sirix knows when the camera's on him. He pretends like he doesn't.
For a player that doesn't get caught napping on the field, it was rare to see him snoozing there.
You got to catch some Z's where you can. But 2-0 start for Perth ground zero. What a convincing performance out of them today. The pass off that back wall's blocked as Siki takes the shot, but Sirix coming back in. Flips, resets himself, and now hanging it all the way back. This is a play. Smith is there, but goes wide. That was a net for the taking. for Brisbane Deceptors. Can they get back in position? Smith holds it by the midfield. That challenge kind of wins out, but it's standstill as Delusion playing with the ball. Kupo goes forward. This is not good. Siki once again off that backboard. Kind of hits the crossbar, comes all the way back in Perth Ground Zero. Just having a field day here as Brisbane Deceptors, each clear is one big play for Perth Ground Zero. They're here to stay.
That wordplay, Jake.
Yeah, look, I didn't mean to do that, but I ran out of words. Been rhyming past couple of days, Delusion. He's a bit of a wordsmith himself. As I saw last week, no, seriously, he is.
He's got bars?
He's got bars. He's also got bars of internet when he's sitting there with his laptop. I saw him doing his homework last week. That's a different story. However, 2-0 start, Perth Ground Zero. This 3-0, that's a good pass, and they're just showcasing here. And Siki will take the ball, left for Sirix. It's a lob towards net. Siki comes in, almost cheats it out. Siki's here. Sirix goes up for the ball as well. Look at that extreme close-up on Kupo.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
In this
Pass set for Siki. Then we come close. That's a banger. But a good save there by Smith. Delusion back in, angles it nicely. Siki misses the ball, but how many opportunities are Perth getting here, Jim Nesso? How many are Brisbane getting? They get one and they take it.
And it's important that they do take those chances when they're offered to them, because a team like Ground Zero, so defensively astute, rarely give teams that opportunity to capitalise on a counter-attack.
And
that
look
they
at
did.
them. They're fired up now. That's what they needed. And the Octopuses and Brisbane Deceptors
Need to be careful that they don't get cooked just like Callum Murray.
Jim Nesso, the only thing I get upset about is one, your puns, and two, the realisation that they might end soon. 2 more weeks left of the Elite Series, not including the week 5 here as we look for semi-final positioning and seeding. The shot's there again, light but ready for Siki. Kupo reacts to the play, sent it again in front of that goal square. Lamont drifting to the right. Siki comes in for the intercept. Sirix, the last member, but now the playthrough. A good centre pass, and Brisbane Deceptors starting to speed up here, which is good to see. But who's in defense? Smith runs, but it's too late. And another clear through ball.
Perfect example of the play going both ways there.
Oh, Sirix is denied. You cannot do that, Siki. That's just not fair. What an absolute letdown.
That's a game face, though.
No, you cannot deny a knuckle or high five from your teammate.
That's also another passing play. There's on-field passing plays.
Sure.
Off-field passing plays.
That was an off-field passing play, of course. Perth Ground Zero, they're making him work on the field, though. That's really all that matters at this point in time. 1:30, and on the defense again, Brisbane Deceptors keep asking what they can make of the play. Smith goes over the ball. Cooper hanging back, and Sirix actually out of boost. Delusion has enough, though. The ball's centered there. Siki, a light touch forward, a good pass that comes in off the wall. Delusion will look for the second touch, but it's a massive clear. Lamont looking to dunk down, but Sirix, hot topic right now. 1:10 remaining, a pass back, Delusion for the banger, and what a banger it is.
Got some power on that shot too, didn't he, as well? Just propelling his vehicle nicely and timing it oh so well. Placement is on point there. And not a lot Smith could do. Quite a bit of speed on that shot as well, but there he is. I tell you what, as I said, the awareness on field and off field, week on week.
I love how that's something we're just, like, that's how confident Perth Ground Zero are now. We're talking about on and off the field, how they play. And especially off the field as the conversations have been going. But a minute left remaining in game 2. Perth Ground Zero might have just done enough here, but Brisbane Deceptors
Need to get there.
But they're getting close. I have to say, from Brisbane Deceptors, is improvement from game 1. But what the heck? That was some speedy Gonzalez shot right there from Perth Ground Zero. Reactions to these passes. Takes the words right out of my mouth. 35 seconds from the corner. And Deceptors, that'll hit perfectly, but Smith goes over the ball. Lamont now, a light touch. 3 members from Perth Ground Zero congregating in front of that net. And that's better dribbling than I've ever done. As Sirix will lose the ball over to the Deceptors. The pinch out for Delusion. Up for Siki. The ball being centered around after this shot. What a pass back, but no one's in defense. It's rolling. It's gone.
And Lamont just pinching that one away at the end there. But Deceptors just here on the counter. And there is that fan for Brisbane Deceptors just going absolutely wild.
I feel like there's a couple. There's more than one, surely.
But I mean, for these guys, this has been a far more positive outing, game number 2 than game number 1 was. They're creating a little bit more. Week on week, we see development from these guys in that regard.
Yep.
But the question is, they just need to develop that Rocket League and play it solidly over a 5-minute period, and then they'll really start contending with some of these teams. But for these guys, I'm really happy to see some more creation in this game, and they're going to need to take that into game number 3.
But right now, Brisbane Deceptors, ball hit, ground zero. Another 2-0 start here in the Elite Series, the very last week of regular play. And Perth ground zero, comfortable on and off the field, as we've discovered. But, okay, Smith. But Perth ground zero now. Going to close this game out, and Brisbane Deceptors switching on in a couple of plays, which is good to see.
And this was just simple math too. The fact that Perth ground zero, 12 shots, 4 goals, and for Brisbane Deceptors, 6 shots, 2 goals. They were converting at a similar rate, but you could just see that going forward, Perth ground zero is so much more confident. They've had weeks here on stage where they've just been able to hone their skills and make sure that all these passing plays result in something for them.
Yep.
As Brisbane Deceptors there were a few passing plays that didn't quite link up. They'd be a little bit disappointed because there was a few chances there where they could have actually created something more. But again, just that final touch or that touch in the passing play that let them down. But again, development week on week, these guys have been putting something extra in their, I guess putting more feathers in their cap.
Yeah, no, they just get faster and faster each and every week. And Brisbane Deceptors capitalising on that aggressive play style by Perth ground zero. However, wasn't enough in the end, and a 2-0 start by Perth ground zero. We are going to throw to a break, and when we return, see if Brisbane Deceptors can catch back up. And welcome back to the Gfinity series presented by Alienware. Looking at some replays here from Delusion's, I'm going to use the word again, hot topic of a game in game number 2. Scored some bangers there, Jim Nessa.
Oh yes, and Delusion is certainly bamboozling his opposition in every aspect of the word. On field, he's looked comfortable week on week.
Yep.
I've seen his mechanical ability displayed time and time again in the lead up to those goals as well. He's always making those adjustments. If he sees that his pass, for example, is going to be blocked, he's looking for a different pass. He's looking 2 steps ahead, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to not only anticipate, but you've also got to have that ability to, I guess, predict and react.
That's right, and at the moment for Perth Ground Zero, they've only taken a loss there to the Chiefs. So this is a pretty good series to start off there. Win against Melbourne Order was a big surprise to many. And Perth Ground Zero, they've stomped their way through, and a huge contenders here for the Elite Series. Moving towards the semi-finals, they want to close this one out in Week 5, Game 3. See if Brisbane Deceptors can bring that harass that they brought in Game number 2. The pinch out already, and the first shot goes to Lamont.
And again, just looking to build on what they created in match number 2. We saw them go forward a little bit more. They were a lot more positive in the way that they played Brisbane Deceptors, but they're really going to draw on it here. Lamont, he's an experienced player. He's probably one of the most experienced players, aside from the rest of the lineup that they rotate in and out week on week. So they're going to be looking to him to really just guide them in that regard. But for a team that doesn't have a lot of experience, they've shown themselves to be learning week on week, and that's, I guess, best you can do in a lot of these scenarios too. So from their perspective, if they can challenge Ground Zero in these games, that's positive steps for them. And Game 3, the backs are against the wall. They've really got to stand up and perform.
Well, they're in the attack for quite a while there, so Brisbane Deceptors already showcasing a little bit more here in Game 3. Keeping to the midfield now, Siki, the defender, up for Delusion. The pass stays high, and Siki continues it forward. Brisbane Deceptors, they've just gone back. They've played defensive, but for Delusion, he's already set it up for Sirix. A good block there by Lamont. And he'll clear it out. Siki hanging back. Smith now tries to take the challenge, loses the ball, runs out of boost. The pass is back, but oh no, Siki has just gotten freedom, and this is a mistake there from Brisbane Deceptors.
That infield pass, just not finding the man. You can see there, Cooper maybe just a little bit too close to his opposite number. And, well, that was completely capped.
Oh, that was just so unfortunate.
But that's the thing, though. Against an experienced side like Perth Ground Zero, you can't give them opportunity like that if you're going to beat them.
They'll challenge the ball anyway, so right on track here, a 1-0 start. Brisbane Deceptors trying to pace forward in front of the goal square. Smith misses it, Kupo the last. They're having opportunities like that. They get Sirix with the demo. But what more can they get? 3 minutes 20 remaining. Sirix coming up for the ball, and for Perth Ground Zero, they love this pace. No one's in the right place in the net. Delusion's coming up. Smith's off the wall, the angle right. But 2 people have to collapse for that defense. And Brisbane Deceptors still struggling here. 1 attack is all they need. Lamont, the dribble's there. He gets it.
There we go.
And look at that. The bump in net. I think Delusion got destroyed by Smith. There it is. Great bump by Smith.
That's it. He's just running that line, and you can't save a ball if you're not facing the right direction as well. Delusion did recover slightly, but not in time to actually react to that save as well. So you can see now Brisbane Deceptors, they need to build on some confidence here. And getting plays like that going is certainly going to be more positive for them. We said in Game 2 they really built themselves into
Great
this.
pass.
And again, they're just playing a little bit more direct this time, and it's already paid dividends.
But finally, I think they're putting up the tempo, just like Perth Ground Zero. They want to make sure they struggle to match the ball. Sirix with it again, drops down. Smith, last defender. Sirix pinches it between him and the last defender, and Siki comes forward, tries to dunk it down. Delusion hanging back. Smith needs to get it out of here. Siki's on the right. Sirix is in front. Delusion back. And they're all up for the ball. A massive clear from Brisbane Deceptors. Maybe it's not possible. They go directly down to Kupo, who manages to save it, but it's not over yet as Perth Ground Zero are staying in the attack, stealing away the boost, clearing back the ball, but Delusion, a bit of a mistouch here. Might enable Brisbane Deceptors to get up for the ball, but they leave it.
That's it. When you're trying to lock a team into the defence, you really can't make mistakes. You have to be clean, you have to be clinical, and because one mistake will essentially let your opposition off the hook. And that's exactly what happened there. They were doing the right things, Perth Ground Zero. They were locking their opposition in, sealing the boost, and just that one mistake let them off the hook for the moment. And all that hard work, at least momentarily, is undone. So they need to start building again. They're a really good team at actually setting this up.
Oh, again, Delusion. He finds it anyway. If I'm not mistaken, demo in goal.
Cooper.
No, maybe not.
Unfortunately. And he couldn't quite turn his vehicle around in time to just push that ball away. And that ball landed right in front of goals for Delusion. And he is just going to keep topping up his shot conversion rate like that.
Yeah, immediately Perth Ground Zero back on the good foot. And Brisbane Deceptors, they're under the pressure. Another 3-0 today, I'm not sure, but it might look like it if Perth Ground Zero stay in this side of the field. The attack tries to start off from Brisbane Deceptors. The passing back, Perth Ground Zero getting forced out a little bit here. Zirix doesn't have any boost, so Kupo comes in, but he's just gone past the ball. Delusion's run out of boost as well, and they're just waiting for the respawn. Zirix lobs it. Siki, the one who can play that fast play at the moment. Zirix goes up for the ball, and Brisbane Deceptors keeping it down here. Can they convert, Gimnesso, your favourite word?
Oh, yes. I believe they can. The thing is, though, they just need to start really putting some periods of pressure on. They haven't been able to do that thus far in this last minute or so. It's actually been a lot of the run and play.
Oh, no!
But tell you what, precision over distance delivers.
Precision, speed. Delusion's hard to beat out to the ball. So if the ball's high, it's higher than at least 50% of the field. Delusion's there, and he's usually there first. Such a successful start to the Elite Series. A 3-1 for Perth Ground Zero. And Delusion padding those stats even further with 40 seconds left to go.
Perth Ground Zero here really want to make sure that they don't make any mistakes in this last passage of play. They may just give their opposition the confidence they need to score another goal. There's only 30 seconds left, so the pressure really is on Brisbane Deceptors right now, giving themselves a good credit and good account of themselves in this third match, but it hasn't been enough to topple Ground Zero thus far. 20 seconds left. Can they do it? Can they get another goal? And just maybe swing momentum back in their favour? They need to be scoring here.
They need one final play, but Perth Ground Zero aren't going to give it to them. Siki sets it up. The dunk was there, but Delusion will take it anyway. It bounces back and forth, but Brisbane Deceptors, their last stand was there, but unfortunate that they don't get a game. Perth Ground Zero, 3-0. They move on to the semis as well. And Brisbane Deceptors unfortunate by the end.
Brisbane Deceptors, though, as we said, credit to them. They started to really put some good Rocket League together. Their passing play was there, but not quite. Not quite on the level of Perth Ground Zero. So you can see they're going forward. Delusion, again, 5 shots. He was also in the back line making saves as well. So statistically, his movement around the field, he's in the right places at the right time when they need to. Exactly in Brisbane Deceptors court, you can see there, Lamont, one of the most active players for Brisbane Deceptors in that match. He was doing the same thing. They just weren't creating at the same rate that Perth Ground Zero were in that regard. So you can see that they have some of the right ingredients. They just need to tweak that recipe.
I think it was a good final game for Smiths as well. He came onto the stage and game one was quite good for him. I think there were moments where we could really talk up Smith's Kupo. But for Brisbane Deceptors, it just wasn't enough. It's good for their first season, though. This is where growth starts. When you go up against teams like Perth Ground Zero, Melbourne Order, the Chiefs, and Melbourne Avant, these guys have been together for a long period of time. So a good start from Brisbane Deceptors, but they'll end 0-5. However, we are going to throw it back to Luke on the desk, who's going to wrap up another 3-0.
Thanks, guys. Great second match there. We saw the Deceptors finishing out their season. Good on you guys. And really, the Ground Zero just having a bit of fun, hey, Yummy?
A little bit of fun, yeah. It was a chance to sort of relax a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so useful for them mentally going into next week. Maybe not the best practice for them, but just going in and having a bit of fun with the series, going for a few insane plays and taking some risks, really means that next week when they come through, they'll be in that same mindset, and it can really break through those nerves that they've seen.
Yeah, well, he is in top form right now, the man himself, Zirix. Let's head back to Ash right now. He's having a chat with him. Over to you, Ash.
Yeah, so I'm just chilling out here with Zirix. So congratulations on that win. How was it coming into the match today, knowing you've already secured a spot in the playoffs?
Yeah, well, we kind of came into the game just trying to have fun because we already secured a spot in the finals. So, yeah, just told the boys to have some fun and, yeah, come out with 3-0.
Well, nothing's set in stone yet. Who are you hoping to come up against next week?
I think odds are we're versing Order, but if Order wins today, I think it's like a tie, like a three-way tie. So Order winning makes it interesting, but Chiefs probably take it in Game 5.
So you reckon it's definitely going to Chiefs?
Not definitely, but that they're probably the favourites.
So how are you going to prepare for next week's match? What's your plan this week for you three?
I guess we'll just sit in the crowd and watch the game because we're probably versing one of them next week.
Yeah, take you some tips, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for chatting to me, and I guess I'll see you in the crowd. We can have a chat later.
Thanks.
Back to you, Luke.
Nice work, Siri. Sweet hair as well, dude. If you could put me in touch with his stylist and we could do something about this, that'd be awesome.
He's got the MVP of hair for OCE.
He's my MVP of hair for today's match. Let's talk about that match right now. Let's get into analysis. Have a look at the goals and how it played out.
It was a good start from Perth Ground Zero.
Yep.
I actually felt that in game one, and I guess throughout a lot of it, Siki really struggled. Despite this goal, it was kind of set up by Sirix, where he wasn't sure what Brisbane Deceptors were going to do.
Yeah.
He was laying off and maybe they'd hit the ball differently to our expect, or there were some big misses coming out from Brisbane Deceptors on their backboard, maybe their biggest weakness of them all. And he wasn't really sure what to do with it. Sirix and Delusion, they were sure, they went for it, and that was why they stepped up. So maybe not the worst day for Siki in terms of gameplay.
I think we're about to see a Deceptors goal here, Lamont.
Lamont was great. I mean, he put in a lot of work. He got 2 goals in this series, and that one that we just saw, the counter-attack goal, that was a spectacular shot.
Yeah.
And later on in game 3, he gets this brilliant dribble that we'll see. But Delusion was the one scoring these goals.
He was
so
really having fun out there, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, just getting into it, doing whatever he wanted. And I love this one. Sirix, from his angle, sees it goes over and said, I'm done, I'm out. And just
sit back and watch.
the goal happen. So that one was a bit of a freebie because in game 2, Perth Ground Zero, they sort of take it a little bit lightly. They pushed up really hard, but that was the great
But Lamont
goal.
again, we see Lamont again there. Exciting to see him next season, I reckon will be.
Yeah, he's got the chance to come through the Challenger Series again, maybe to get picked up by a team.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of potential. He showed that in this series, and it's important for those players to get that showcase, and that is one of the best placed shots of the day. Delusion finishing it off in a big way. He had a lot of goals this series, 5 in his 3 games, 8 saves as well.
Yeah, they're a real strong team, Perth Ground Zero. Right now, let's find out who the Astra MVP is for that match. Again, I've got a pretty strong vibe on who it is, Yummy, based on what we've been chatting about. But who's your Astra MVP for that match?
Delusion takes it out, I think, very comfortably in this one. It's been so good to see as well because he was the uncomfortable player. He is ready to play now. He got 5 goals, 8 saves. He got assists on, I think, every single other goal. No, he was missed out on 1 assist. So he was involved in every single goal except for 1. He made a few risky plays in the midfield, which did mean that he had some misses. But overall, every single time he was near the ball, he was applying pressure, he was scaring his opponents away from the ball, and it opened up the middle of the pitch for everyone.
And I guess this was really the match for him to be taking risks as well in this kind of pressure environment.
It's so important for next week, and coming in, they might have the diverse order again. They're going to have the confidence of that. And Delusion is going to be that player who, if he plays well, they as a team will be on top form.
We've got some vocal young audience members in the background just doing their own thing.
They're excited for Delusion, yeah, for sure.
Good work, guys. So Delusion is the Astra MVP for that match.